Everyone knows that they want to hit their next level and they want to keep progressing, keep advancing, but not everyone knows exactly how they want to do it. Most people are just not intentional about this at all. And the problem with not being intentional is that when you go through life without really having a plan, you kind of bumble along and you get really easily influenced by what other people are doing. I have definitely found this. If I don't have a plan, if I'm not intentional enough about my own life, the next thing that someone else says who's vaguely happy with their life, the next thing that they say, oh, you should do this, or oh, I'm doing this, I'm like, oh, tell me more about this. And I find myself being influenced by them and their world and not focusing on mine. And then the problem is it makes me go in all these different directions that actually aren't true to me. They're true to that person and their life. And this is not good and it needs to stop. And if you feel yourself doing this too, I have something for you. And this is about how to get intentional about what your next level involves. So you know when you upgrade your computer and it goes from being 9.1.3 to 9.1.4 and every single upgrade makes it go up another level. So if you think of yourself in this same way, you can almost name the operating systems that you're using at the moment. Imagine that the first kind of phase of our lives, we're our name and then 1.0. So up until, I actually think about the middle of last year, I was Jodie 1.0. And then there were enough shifts and level ups and things that happened in the middle of last year that made me think, I am Jodie 2.0 now. And I could almost write a list of the things that made that true. But now I'm like, I don't want to stop there. I want to define Jodie 3.0. And then I want to kind of become that person, almost define who that person is and what's in their life so that I can progress from Jodie 2.0 to Jodie 3.0. And I've run this exercise now with a few friends. And so we've been describing Ollie 2.0, Rebecca 2.0, Kimberly 2.0. And so this video is to show you the exercise that I've run with my friends to help them reach the next level and have it so on their terms, so defined, so intentional that they never get sidetracked by anyone ever again. It's super simple. So for me, it involves these little cards. So they're similar to the cards that you might have if you're a speaker and you're on stage and you're like going through your scripts. And so on one side, you would write the things that define who you are now. So I'm going to give you some of mine. So on one of mine, it says Jodie 2.0 is a top 20 Forbes contributor. And then on the other side of the same card, you write the next version of you and how they will have shifted and how they will have leveled up in that exact same area. So I've got Jodie 3.0 is a top 10 Forbes contributor. And so that's a really easy one because it's something that's in my life right now. There's a leaderboard. I know the difference between what the 2.0 version of me has and what the 3.0 version of me could have. So I'll tell you the other ones and it might spark some ideas for you. I've got Jodie 2.0 is responsive and available to nearly everyone. And this is a massive downfall of mine because I can be such a massive people pleaser that I'm like, oh, I need to respond to them. And then I do respond to them and it happens too much. And I feel like the next level of me up does not do this. So I've put Jodie 3.0, and this is on the other side of the card, is unresponsive and unavailable to nearly everyone. Ones like this are less tangible than something that's maybe a leaderboard, but I still like the idea that we're thinking about the things that the version of us right now does and the things that the next version of us does not do. So the things that we're going to stop, the things that we're going to do less of. That's the theme of that one. Jodie 2.0 knocks on doors whilst building her own house. And that for me is about the difference between asking for opportunities and creating your own opportunities, or things like trying to get on other people's podcasts compared to just building your own podcast, or being on other people's YouTube channels compared to building your own YouTube channel, stuff like that. That's a real key difference for me because I feel like when I own my own medium and when I give myself more credit, that's when better things unlock. And it's probably the same for you as well. And so my next version up, Jodie 3.0, only builds her own house. And then actually my friend who I was doing this exercise with, she put a line through house and she wrote kingdom. So Jodie 3.0 only builds her own kingdom. So that's the next one. And then a sporting one. So if you've got sports or hobbies that you're working on right now, maybe you've got a thing that you write that's about one of those. So I've got Jodie 2.0 trains to hit old PBs in powerlifting. And then Jodie 3.0 trains to hit new PBs. So important. Is there anything in your life where you just feel like you're trying to get back to where you once were? And it's this really strange feeling because every time you get a bit closer to being back to where you once were, it doesn't really feel like progress. It feels like, well, I should be there anyway. So that's a real big thing for me. I want to be setting new goals in everything, not just feeling like I'm trying to get back to my best. Then I've got Jodie 2.0 speaks on stage at conferences, and Jodie 3.0 has her own show. So this is similar to the one about building your own house. This is around taking your power back. Where can you own more of what you're doing, practice extreme self-sufficiency, and use your own ace cards to get there? You might have something that comes up for you that you can make a new card about on that one. And then finally, and this is probably actually relevant to all of us because so many of us are just too busy doing too much stuff. So I've got Jodie 2.0 does things her VA should do, and then Jodie 3.0 does nothing her VA should do. This one's kind of vague, but if you find yourself doing something that your VA should do, that you know that you have got the perfect person in mind who you're already paying who could do this, then they should probably be doing it. Because I feel a really big sense of this is figuring out what you're not going to do so that you create the space to fill with the things that make your dream life, the things that match your superpowers and the things that only you can do. So give it a go. Name your version right now. Are you 1.0? Are you 2.0? Maybe you're already like 7.0 and you just want to define the next version up. Have it there, write it down, and then define in a very clear way what this version does, what the next version does, and then see the changes you can make to become more of the next version. I feel like as soon as I started defining this, it started happening. There's just some kind of magic in having it written down that means that you're already on the way to making it happen. It's going to be amazing. I'm supporting you. I believe in you. Definitely add a comment below this video when you've given this a go. I cannot wait to see what your next version upholds. And please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. This is day 2 of showing up every single day on YouTube. If you hit subscribe, you will get all the future videos, and I will see you in the next one.